What's up, guys? We're back on part two. Moving on for TNA, Chavo and Hernandez versus AJ and Angle. The match ended in a double DQ when Daniels and Kazarian came out and attacked them. So it ended the match, and that led to Hogan making his decision that the tag titles are going to be defended in a triple threat at Bound for Glory. Then there was Rude versus Storm in a match. It's supposed to be a match. Rude was like, I'm not going out there. And Hogan's like, well, you're not getting paid and all this. You're not going to get any more championship shots, anything, if you don't go out there. So Rude went out there. The match was just a complete. I mean, it was good, but it was just the point that they were just setting up for Bound for Glory. They were basically just beating the crap out of each other. I guess the match at some point ended in a DQ. I really don't know what happened. The ref just rang the bell, and they were just still going. But Hogan doesn't. On the next episode, he sets their match for Bound for Glory. I said this already. Hogan made the triple threat of Bound for Glory for the tag belts. This guy was pretty bad. I mean, I'm not going to take away from him because I know that they probably really didn't give him a chance to show what he could do. But at the same time, this guy was really small. He was going against Doug Williams, and Doug Williams is an X Division guy who's already, he's already a pretty small guy, and this guy's just even smaller. Not to say that he's not talented. I'm not, because the guys like Daniel Bryan have surpassed that. You can be a small guy but still really good in the ring. I just think he probably just needs more time, more training. And we'll reveal the results of what happened on the next week in wrestling, I guess TNA probably shouldn't have just let him get squashed. Majority of the match probably should give him a chance to show off what he could do, but from what they did show, I just didn't seem impressed. He just seems like he needs to bulk up. Not that I approve steroid use, but there are other ways, to bulk up, naturally. So moving on. Aries was cutting a promo backstage saying how he envies everything that Hardy has and that he wants that, and he think he'll get that by beating Hardy at Bound for Glory. And between this week and next week's episode, I'll talk more about it. It just looks more like Aries is moving on to a heel turn, which it just makes a lot of sense that because Hardy is the face, and I don't see Hardy doing a heel turn anytime soon, although his one at Bound for Glory 2 years ago has to probably be one of the best heel turns in wrestling history because it was just completely unexpected, but awesome at the same time. It just looks like Aries is going in the direction of a heel turn. We may not see this come to fruition until we get to Bound for Glory. It may happen before, but we'll just see what happens in the weeks leading up to Bound for Glory. Tara, it was open fight night. Tara calls out Christy and then just started attacking her randomly, and then Brooke came out and helped her. It was basically just kind of setting up more for Tara versus Brooke and Bound for Glory. They said the television championship returns next week, which this is good because rumors were going around that TNA was just going to phase out this belt altogether, which I'm happy they're not. It'd be a little disappointing if they did, because this, if they use the belt right, it can build up other stars. I mean, not that the person they gave it to, we'll talk about that next episode, really needed it, but still, I think it's good. It's it's TNA's secondary title. This is their Intercontinental U.S. title. Not treated with as much respect as it should be, but it's still there, still somewhat relevant. I'm happy they're bringing it back. Aces and Eights. They kidnapped Joseph Parks and they told Hogan he can come to their clubhouse or whatever. Something, I can't remember all the details, but it just sets up for the next episode basically. When Hogan comes to encounter Aces and Eights. And then Bully Ray beat Aries in a match. Aries was doing fine, and I can't remember if someone or something interfered or something, but it ended up with Bully Ray, using his little chain belt and knocking Aries out basically when the ref wasn't looking to give him the win. Moving on to SmackDown. Edge came out to say he's never seen nothing so odd and just as Kane and Daniel Bryan as a tag team, and then he was kind of saying about all the differences they had, and he's like, "Uh-oh," and he's like taking off his jacket because he thinks they're about to fight, and I was like, "What? Edge's gonna wrestle?" I was like, "No, he can't. His neck's messed up," and then they end up hugging, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." Um, so moving on, set up for a match. Sandow came out and insulted him, and Kane was winning the match, and Daniel Bryan did something. I think he went up to the ring and was like, "I'm the tag team champion." Distracted Kane long enough for Sandow to hit his little neck breaker, and gave Sandow the victory. Then Kane and Daniel Bryan were doing a promo backstage where Dr. Shelby was like, "Okay, well, how will you feel if Daniel has to do compete in a match tonight?" And Kane's like, "I'll feel better about that," and he has to give me my belt back. And so yeah, that later set up for a match for him. Layla beat Natalya in a match. There was no real relevancy to this match. I guess just kind of make Layla look good going into Hell in a Cell. Just like I said, the Divas division is wrecked. It's just wrecked. Beth has announced that probably towards the end of October, early November, she is retiring from WWE. We don't know if she's going on to TNA or not, or maybe an independent promotion. That's unknown at the moment. The thing that is known is that she is retiring from the WWE. Sheamus and Orton beat Del Rio and Ziggler in the match. This was just a straight up filler match. No real relevance to it. These opponents from Night of Champions. The match itself had no importance. It's just the match. It was an alright match though, but yeah, just no importance. Then the match that was later set up was for Cody Rhodes versus Bryan. Bryan actually had Cody in the no-lock during the match, and Kane hit his music, came out saying, "I'm tag team champions." Bryan got distracted. Cody hit Crossroads and got the pin. It was a really good match because both these guys are excellent in the ring. So it was a good match the entire time. And the two matches, they did make Sandow and Cody look a little better, beating both Kane and Bryan. But it sets up later for they were in a backstage promo. It sets up for a match between the two later. Clay beat Slater via DQ. Boring. But then these two guys came out to help Slater. Oh, that's what happened, yeah. These guys came out and they all started. Wait. Did I mix that up? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Clay won the match, but because these two came out and helped Slater. So what it's looking like, these guys are forming a new faction. Don't know how big they're going to be. Hopefully they become popular because, these are three great guys right here. I mean, in all honesty, Slater's probably not going to get past mid-card level, but honestly, McIntyre and Mahal over time do have potential to be main event, heels. They, both very good. So, they're both good performers. They're both good on the mic. Not to say a Slater isn't. Just the way Slater just doesn't seem like he's a main event guy. But I don't know what WWE's thinking. They may screw up everything, or who knows? We'll see. Santino beat Cesaro in a match because of Oksana, and Cesaro told Oksana we're through, blah blah blah, and left. So I don't really know where WWE's going with that. I don't know if Oksana's being released, if she's in trouble, if this is leading to a storyline. This past week's SmackDown didn't really explain anything from that, but we'll see what happens. Team Friendship beat Rhodes and Sandow in their match, and then they destroyed it. They started attacking everyone with chairs and just beat them down. And what I thought was so good about this episode was that it spotlighted the tag team division so much because it showed so much importance to Kane and Daniel Bryan as the tag champs. And with the rest of the tag team being there, it just made the entire tag division look really good, which is pretty awesome. Moving on to Saturday Morning Slam, they did a spotlight on some Intercontinental champions, a lot of the guys who've held the belt. Just saying how important the title is, which is right now it's above the U.S. title, below the world title as in importance. So, but it's good. The Intercontinental title is a really cool title. I've always liked it. I think it's a great belt. And it should be, more important than it's treated. Ryder beat Regal in a match. It was a really good match. from what you understand, every match on Saturday Morning Slam is pretty much always going to be the good guy beating the bad guy. So it was just, Ryder's the good guy. The crowd's initially going to cheer for him to win. So then Miz gives his 5 tips to be awesome. And the 5 tips were to dress the part, walk the part, listen to naysayers, be loud, be heard, and be awesome, which is, I enjoy it. I love Miz. Everybody knows I'm a big Miz fit. So yeah, I believe that is all for this week's episode, and I should have the next week's episode up soon. Thanks for watching, guys.